Hey, yo, we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you've tapped in before, welcome. This is the first time that you're hopping in here. Hello to everybody that may be joining in live in a few seconds, or if you're watching after the fact. Appreciate you guys jumping in and watching this after the fact. I'm going to jump straight into it. Not really going to explain much. Usually, I'll go through a little bit of a spiel in the beginning of my videos. Only thing that I will say is I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. I have a goal for myself to get 250 subscribers by the end of March. Pretty confident that I'd be able to do it. I just need your guys' help. So please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and share it with somebody who you think may take something away from the videos as well. Check out the links in the description. Best way to get in contact with me is going to be either Instagram or the Discord group. And there's a few affiliate links for batch leads and batch skip tracing. If you do decide that that's the route you want to take, those are two platforms that I use personally. They are affiliate links, so if you want to support me and help support the channel, feel free to go through those links if you are considering using any of the batch products down there. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm doing some lead follow-up. Two gentlemen that I'm looking forward to connecting with specifically are two people that I connected with yesterday through cold calling. Both of them had given me prices. I knew that they were kind of unreasonable prices, but we're not too far. I ran comps on both the properties yesterday, so we're not too far off actually, um, in regards to prices. So let me pull this first guy up. His name's Randall. Spoke with him yesterday. He's asking for 210. Um, he sold one right around the block at 208. He mentioned that this is a 4-bed, 2-bath, despite what it says online, which it does, 3-bed, 2-bath. So I ran comps based on what he told me. It's a month-to-month tenant. Um, although they have been there long term, he wants to sell ASAP. No major repairs needed. AC is fairly new, which is a few years old. Roof is about 15 years old. No plumbing or electrical issues. The tenant's actually a plumber, so anything that pops up, the tenant takes care of. The seller's 72 years old and ready to get out of the rental business. I ran some comps, came up with my max allowable at like 180. I think is what's appropriate on this. The ARV I calculated at about 270, and I think that may even be a little conservative. But for the sake of being conservative when making my offers to the sellers, that's what I kind of lean towards. Um, this place is, we'll find it in batch leads here. This place is 1,600 square feet. Again, don't think it needs a roof, new AC, no plumbing, electrical. I'd imagine no foundation issues as well. So it's probably just going to be like an average rehab. Um, I would say probably I think 180 may be a little too aggressive, to be honest. If I'm calculating an ARV at 270, I want to make like a 15,000 assignment. I may really have to be at like 175 max. So I'll go ahead and do that because I don't like the way I came up with that. Yeah, 175 max is good. So let me give him a call. Try to connect. I'm gonna try to have him come down on his price a little bit before I go ahead and make my offer. It's kind of my goal in that. Try to figure out what the tenant's paying. I really don't think about it too much on these lead follow-ups. Maybe that's my problem. But I felt like I still needed some information from him. I guess I could just generally get into the conversation of price with him in terms of like how much he owes on the property, all that good stuff. So let me give him a call. I want to pull batch leads up. I want to see if there's like a property here that I could have used as like an anchor price. Let's gonna have it comp it again real quick. Yeah, so there's one here that went for one. What did I say? I need to beat it. 175. Yeah, so here's one that went for 138 that can be used as a good anchor. Um, so their property is slightly bigger. Um, so yeah, that'll be a good anchor right there. You can just give him a call, see what he's talking about. I'm gonna point out a bunch of these that are kind of want to make it appropriate though. That's probably the most appropriate that I see. Give him a call.
Hello, is this Randy?
Hey, Randy, how's it going? This is Derek.
Unbelievable. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I just wanted to give you a call back. Not sure if you recall, we had spoke yesterday regarding your property over on RV Mayfield.
Okay.
Yeah, did I catch you at a good time?
You're call. Yeah, you're. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to reconnect, make sure they were still interested in selling that property there, right?
Well, which property are you talking about?
Looking at what am I looking at here?
All right. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think we had gone through that yesterday. You just sold one like right around the block, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of dug a little deep, did my little research on the property, and remind me again, what are you asking for that place?
220 minimum.
Oh, okay. All right. And yeah, so I'm taking a look just so that I don't end up wasting your time. To be honest, I don't think that I'd be able to go upwards of that. I'm just taking a look at some of the comparables in the area. I'm looking at one over on Lemon Tree Lane. Looks like that one sold, I'd imagine, as is for around 138. But I do know that when they're fully fixed up, they're definitely pushing value upwards beyond the 200 mark. That's for sure.
What's the date on that one?
The one on Lemon Tree, year built.
No, the sold date.
That one was back in July of 21.
Yeah, okay, so it's almost a year old.
Yeah. So
big increase since then.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'd imagine this one, it's slightly bigger in terms of square footage, but just at the price that it did go at, I'd imagine that it sold in as is condition. Um, with your property, if I recall correctly, I'm gonna kind of tap back into my notes here. The AC is newer. The roof has some years on it, but I don't think that it really needs to be replaced anytime soon. Um,
Right.
Let me ask, no foundation issues or anything like that to your knowledge, right?
Nope.
No, okay. And then something that I don't think I asked, has any recent work been done to like the kitchen or baths in recent years?
No. After I bought it, I got a tenant in there, and he's been in there ever since. For
Okay.
the last 8 years.
Okay.
So,
And he's just to confirm, he's on month to month, correct?
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I don't quite think that I'm going to be able to really exceed 200 on this, but if we could come in and do really the quick cash convenient offer for you and take it in as is condition and possibly help facilitate some type of help towards the tenant as well, because ideally, right, we would like to have it delivered vacant. I don't know if that would be an issue since they're on month to month, but if we could help it in any way in that regard, do you think that you consider something, in the range of 150 to 165?
No, not even close.
Okay.
No,
So that 220,
like I
you're
said, I
firm
just
at
sold
that?
one down the. Yeah, absolutely. I just sold one down the street, closed on January 4th at 210.
Okay. All
Same
right.
square footage, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and it was needed about $10,000, $15,000 worth of rehab work on it.
Right. What do you think needs to be dumped into this one to bring it, up to speed?
At today's prices, probably about 5 grand, and new
Okay.
paint, and that'd be about it.
Okay,
Maybe
so
the only carpet in there is in the living room. That might need to be replaced, but that's it. So
okay.
you're in and out of there for 5 grand.
Okay. All right. So in terms of, I know you had mentioned that you hadn't done any recent work to the kitchen or baths. Are they, remodeled to some degree, or do you think it's kind of just rent ready and that's how you would?
All the kitchen yeah, all the kitchen cabinets have been replaced a couple of years before I bought it,
Okay.
so they're all updated. And same with countertops.
Okay. Okay.
And as clean as this guy is, I doubt seriously if there's any damage to it or if there's anything that needs to be replaced.
Right, right. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's just the way that we're kind of looking at it is if we were going to go into it, we would probably, I don't doubt that the place is in great condition, but just to be able to fetch top dollar, you're saying the cabinets got replaced before you bought it, over 8 years ago, we would probably want to do something to the kitchen, something to the baths, just so that we can fetch top dollar. I can go ahead and rerun the numbers to see because that's how I was kind of approaching it. Kind of a higher rehab price point in order to fetch as much as possible on the open market. But I can kind of revisit the
Yeah.
numbers,
Well,
see if we cut some corners in terms of the remodel, if the numbers would make sense to just sell it at a lower price point.
crunch your numbers, and if you can come up then give me a call back.
Sure, sure, will do. And just again, I don't want to end up wasting your time. Is that 220 negotiable at all, or are you firm at that?
Pretty firm.
Okay.
And I know what the property is worth, so
Okay. And if you don't mind, what are you collecting in rent monthly from the tenant?
1,200.
12. Okay. All right. Well, yep. What I'll do, I'll crunch the numbers and I will get back to you if it seems like this may be something that we're still interested in.
All right, sounds good.
All right. I appreciate your
Have a
time.
great day.
You as well.
You bet.
So it's not a deal because he's has high expectations. Not to say that he's probably not accurate, but I have again he's talking about dumping 5 grand into the property, but the kitchens and baths haven't had any work done to it in over 8 years. Not to say that they're not nice, but they're not what these properties that are selling for, two. So I have one, my highest sold comp is 273. That one sold back in June. And he's correct in that comp was old, but it actually probably works in his favor in this case because prices are decreasing. I have one that sold less than a month ago at 252 compared to the one that sold back in June of 2021 at 273. Um, so I mean, it all depends on how you look at it, right? And that one that sold for 273 was, I mean, these are pretty much cookie cutters, same square footage, pretty much same lot size, pretty much same year built. Um, so I mean, prices actually look like they're decreasing in the area. But if I wanted to be just optimistic as all hell and take this one outlier that sold for 273, not quite sure why it sold for that high because the next highest sold is at 252 and then we have 233, 223. So that 273 is an outlier in my opinion. Something that I don't want to necessarily use as to calculate my ARV. I'd rather take like a average of all these, which is what I kind of did. So if I use the 273, that one is 2 years newer, slightly smaller lot, about 50 square feet bigger. But ours has an extra bedroom per the seller. So you may call ARV like 275, 280 to be extremely optimistic. Even if I had it at 280, I'm not going to be able to offer him 220, right? Um, After I consider buyer fees, commissions, profit, uh, let's say the property truly did need only 5,000 in rehab, that would give me my 10,000 assignment, based on how I run my numbers when it comes up to my offer. But realistically, the place is over 1,600 square feet. It's gonna need more than 5,000. Like I said, we're probably gonna we as in the my cash buyer who I ended up assigning it to, gonna go in there and remodel the bathroom and the kitchen, the stuff that hasn't been touched in over 8 years. That we're gonna go in there and remodel those. Um, so I also haven't seen pictures of these properties though. Maybe these properties aren't crazy remodeled. Like this one that sold for 273. Maybe it is just rent ready. I doubt it. But like maybe this 252 is just rent ready. But even then, I'm not gonna be able to give him 220. So if he's firm, he sounds like he has other properties. He just doesn't need my help. This is one that I'm gonna go ahead and kick to the wayside. Spoke with seller, firm at 220K. I know that I probably could have done a better job of like revisiting that conversation, but he was, to be quite frank, he was kind of an ass. You can just kind of hear it in the demeanor of his voice. He's like, "Yeah, give me what I want." No, okay, bye. Like, and I was trying to like bring some facts to him, some reason with like recently sold comps. That one that I saw that went as is. Yeah, when was that sold though? A year ago? Yeah. He said the way prices are in terms of construction costs, probably 5 grand. I was expecting him to say like 50 grand because prices of materials have increased. Um, Spoke with seller, firm at 220K. Not really negotiable. Derek offered 150 to 175 or 165K. He said not even close. Seller thinks it would take 5K to rehab, which is again false. Even if the place just needed to be turned over, like get that tenant out, turn it over for a new tenant, you're gonna spend at least 15,000. The guy's been living in there for over 3 years. You got to replace the carpet. You got to repaint the walls. You got to do these things. And on a 1,600 square foot home, again, it's not a huge house, but even a light rehab is going to run you, right? So 5 grand, that's like paying a cleaning crew to clean out the inside and power wash the exterior. Not to knock the guy, he's just not a lead that needs my help. So I'm going to go ahead and tag him accordingly. Just go ahead and say he's not interested. Um, Knock him off the follow-up list. Not going to waste any more time with him. We're way too far off. I could have maybe come up to 180, but he was, and mind you, he said 210 yesterday when I talked with him, and now he said 220. So he's that kind of guy. You know what I mean? John here, talked with him yesterday, asking 295 from his tenants if they were to buy the place. Sounds like they're on month to month, and that they were willing to leave if we could work something out. He's working with them to find a new place to move to. No major work needed. New roof AC in recent years. Some work done to the kitchen and baths. Wants a cash offer to see. Ran my comps ARV on this one's probably about 360, which would have me offering. Let me pull this one up. Under 1,500 square feet on this one. I could probably offer, upwards of 260 is what I have. My max allowable being at 260, and he's asking 295 from his tenants. If I recall correctly, he wanted me to throw a number out, and he wouldn't necessarily, because it sounds like he's willing to take less if somebody comes in with a quick cash close. Because with the tenants involved, he's having to do a bunch of other things, right? Like help them and do all this and that, and pulling this one up real quick to see if I can get some as is comps to throw out to him as well. So one went for 140, 185, 160. These are cookie cutters for sure. Again, just probably as is. So gonna give him a call.
Hello.
Hey John, how's it
Hello.
going? This is Derek.
Derek, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to give you another call. I don't know if you remember, but we spoke yesterday about your property over on Linda Lane.
Yeah.
All right. Did I catch you at a good
I'm,
time?
no, I'm expecting a call in a few minutes, but go ahead. How long you're going to talk to me?
Well, I'd prefer to kind of talk it through with you. So if it's all right, can I give you a call and say like another 30 minutes?
There is some information going on which will go for 30, 40 minutes. Then I'm done. Maybe 5 o'clock local time,
Okay. How about this?
No, it's about
How about
3:30 right now. They're going to call me in a few minutes.
yeah, yeah. No problem. Yeah, and I respect you letting me know. How about I'm getting ready to step out myself in a little bit. So how about I give you a call tomorrow?
Remember, I may never know what I'm doing. But if you want to,
Yeah, yeah. I'll give
I'm
you
getting lots of calls, okay?
yeah. Well, you can you
Lots
can
of calls.
you can start ignoring the other calls because I'm your guy.
No, I agree, but if they match my requirement, then it will go for it.
Yeah, and what was that? Remind me again what it is that you're looking for?
I'm looking for something very close. I was just doing some study on the area,
Mhm.
so close to 300.
Okay.
As is, I saw some yesterday. They were not that brand new, but they did some work. But they were asking a little more. They are not too far from there.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it's in the rate, and these people want something, like that.
Yeah, let me
yeah.
let me ask, I think I learned a little bit about the condition of the property. Let me know that, the roof and the AC were kind of new. They were replaced in recent years. It sounds like maybe some work was still needing to be done on the kitchen and the bathrooms. If you had all the money in the world, how much do you think you would spend on remodeling it in order to fetch, top dollar?
Well, I don't know how much it would be at this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm selling as is.
Mhm.
And basically it's well maintained, I think. And beside that, I don't know what I can say. You just compare the market, give me a good cash offer, no closing costs, no nothing.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'm taking a look at some of the properties here, and I think that when they're fully fixed up, I'm seeing them go
Yeah.
for close to 350, and that's why I'm just trying to
Okay.
understand how much money would really need to be put into it because we could come in and we could offer you something and we could cover the closing costs, buy it as is, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, we still do need to make a profit, and we try to be as transparent and honest about that as possible. So the way that I'm looking at it, the place is right around 1,500 square feet, give or take. Is that correct?
A little bit more than that because they have converted garage, half of the
Yeah.
garage into room.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So you converted the garage, you said?
I didn't do one of the other tenants had done it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the way that I'm looking at that, even with that much square footage, it's not the biggest house, but even just a carpet paint will run you, especially nowadays with the cost of materials. So to be honest, and I want to kind of throw this out there because I don't want to waste your time. The way that I'm looking at it, again, if we could come in with the cash offer and close quickly, do all that good stuff that you're, anticipating, and we can. I know that you mentioned yesterday you were helping your tenants out. We can also offer some assistance in that as well, to try to help them move because ideally we would like to, get the property vacant. If we were able to do all of that stuff, would you entertain an offer somewhere in the ballpark of like 240 to 255?
So I'm staying more close to. I have so many other people talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I know you want to make profit or whatever you want to do, but I'm working with the market.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and actually I make pretty good on the rental, so I may not want to sell.
Ah, okay,
So
okay.
there's a heavy demand on the rent in that area. So
Yeah. Just
besides that,
out of curiosity, have those other any of those other people who have been contacting you, have they been making you any offers?
no, I have given them select send me the offer. That's what they say.
Mm.
So, but besides that, I can't give you more details of it. But I am expecting call at any moment.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Absolutely. So,
I mean,
I can
maybe,
see.
maybe
I just want to kind of leave you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're expecting a call, so I just want to let you know. That's kind of where we would be for an all cash as is
somebody
offer.
buys, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I was gonna say save my
Okay.
number. I might be able to see if we can come up a little bit more, but in terms of getting
Sure.
close to 300, I don't think that we'd be able to. Possibly 260, 265, but that would probably be the most that we'd be willing to do on this one.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand.
Yeah, so
Let me
please,
see what I can.
yeah, feel free to save my number. If anything ever changes, please feel free to reach out.
Sure, will.
All right, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Sure, bye.
I know I'm cutting this guy off like crazy, and that's I was really wanting to say as much as I could because he was talking about getting off the phone. I tried keeping him on for a little bit longer just to make the offer. I'm gonna follow up with him. I think his expectations, if for selling it as is, are a little high, and that's why I wanted to see if any of those other people that he's talking about have actually made him an offer. Um, because I'd imagine that it's probably somewhere close to what I'm talking about. I have MAO at max allowable offer at 260, ARV 360. At 360, if even just considering buyer fees, commissions on the back end, closing costs, um, you know, and profit for the buyer, you'd be looking at 302 max, and that's without the rehab. Now the rehab factored in, you're probably looking at I'm looking at like 30,000, probably minimum. Uh, maybe not minimum, but he's talking about when I asked if the kitchen bath needed work, he said some work, whatever that means. So I'm assuming that it hasn't been touched. So now we're sitting at like 275, and then I have to carve out an assignment for myself, which is why I said we may be able to go upwards of like 265, which would give me something like a 10,000 assignment fee. But yeah, I mean, just not quite there. It doesn't seem. Hey, Derek, are you using Google Voice to call and follow up with these sellers? I'm using Sideline. Um, I do have Google Voice. I use that kind of as like my cell phone. It has a local area code to these people, so I will give that out for like the hot leads. But anybody who I'm just kind of following up with, I'm using this Sideline number. Hey, Derek, what's going on? Sophisticated one. So that one, I'm gonna go ahead and you know connected with seller wants. He did the same thing. He said 295 to his tenants. Now he's talking about 300. He did the same thing as the last guy. Um, he's mistakenly, in my opinion, taking all of the interest that he gets on the property as serious buyers. That's why I asked, have these people made you offers? I'd be curious to know where they're coming in at, one, and two, if they're if they've actually followed up with you, because a lot of people will say, yeah, we want to make you an offer, and they'll never follow up. um Connects with seller, wants something close to 300K. Derek offered, I don't remember what I offered, 240 to 255K. um uh, at one point he mentioned he may not even want to sell because he gets good rent rates. But I know that he does want to sell because he told me yesterday that he's working with the tenants to move out and find a new place, which is why I am going to continue pursuing this one. Um, because if he kicks those tenants out and doesn't have any cash flow anymore, then he may be willing to drop his price a little bit. Um, Still interested in selling? Question mark. Revisit numbers. Ask about tenants. Have they moved out yet? I'll call him in like 2 weeks. All right, let's see. George is this gentleman's name. Just an empty lot. George thinks there are liens on it, possibly child support lien from his father who passed away. The lot was willed down to his aunts, but he owns the property now. Has been paying taxes on it for 20 years. Thinks there will be title issues with lien. I talked with him back in April of last year. Connected with seller in November. Continues to pay taxes on it. Learned that there are actually no liens. Neighbor has expressed buying the property in the past. Seller's not motivated. Said he would pay taxes on it for another 20 years if it meant getting more money. Derek, so I'm gonna delete this. This is not one that I should be following up with. Um, these people, I initially cold called, and this gentleman named John answered, and he was like, "I'm not the owner, but the owners just recently passed away, and it sounds like maybe the children or whoever inherited the property is interested in selling. They want 100,000 for the double lots." And he was like, "Call me back tomorrow." And I called him back twice with no twice on 2 different days, 2 different occasions, no answer. And then I finally called back that number and connected with somebody, and I said, "Hey, is this John?" And they said, "Why?" And I said, "Oh, well, I had connected with a John at this number a few weeks ago, um, about a property that was possibly being sold it on Exeter Street," and then he hung up. So I don't know. I'm gonna call back one more time. If I kind of run into something similar to that, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna cancel this one and delete the follow up.
Yeah.
I remember that voicemail, and I texted them too, and I was like, "Hey, I apologize for the randomness of all this." I kind of explained myself, and they never texted me back. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this follow up. I'm really only trying to prioritize these people like I called earlier. Yeah, they weren't the most motivated. I made them an offer, probably not in the best fashion or best way possible. I really need to be building more rapport and making like a legitimate offer as opposed to just throwing a number out there. But I kind of got the sense from both those gentlemen that they weren't like highly motivated. So that's kind of why I threw it out the way that I did. Um, Not to use that as an excuse. I know that I should be doing it better, but um, I've said it a lot recently. Quite honestly, I'm just looking for the low hanging fruit right now. Um, at the very least, I just want to make an offer like I did. You know what I mean? So the fact that I'm making offers, I'm proud of. Um, Granted, I know that I could be doing it a little bit more effectively. Um, but still getting it done. I can make 100 offers just like that, and somebody's gonna actually need my help. Call this gentleman. I connected with him like 2 years ago initially. Right? Is that right? No, no, no. Like a year ago, 14 months ago.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Nine.
I'll leave him a voicemail. Not somebody who's really hot, anyways.
Is not available.
Hey, this message is for Gerald. This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we had spoke, gosh, probably over a year ago now about your property over on Park Manor out in Conroe. We had talked about the condition of the place and all that good stuff. At the moment, it didn't seem like you were very interested in selling, but kind of wanted to keep the conversation open. So I just wanted to give you a call back. The address had popped up, on my feed here. Wanted to reconnect and see if selling may be something that you're interested in at this point in time. Just as a reminder, again, my name is Derek, and I am able to make a cash offer. We can cover closing costs, and we can purchase the property in its as is condition. So we wouldn't ask that you make any repairs or anything like that before the property sold. So again, if that's something that you might be interested in, please feel free to give me a call back. Best number for me is this one here, 832-617. I'm officially starting next week, just getting the setup ready. Thanks, Derek, for your transparency. Of course. Congratulations. Let us know when you're all up and running. The yeah was all I needed to hear. He sounded like he wasn't serious. Yeah, what did he say? What you mean, like after I made my offer or something? Sorry if I'm seeing these late. It seems like they trickle in pretty slow and delayed for some reason. Dial that voicemail. And, once. I'm going to delete this one. I'm just kind of revisiting all these older leads that are popping up for like 6 month follow ups, and it's just like, gosh, why would I ever think that I should follow up with this person? So I'm actually going to call it there. Like I said, I really just wanted to connect with both those gentlemen. I'm glad that I connected, made them both offers. They weren't quite at the point where they needed my help or willing to entertain anything in the price range that I was giving them. But just want to keep making offers. You know, can't expect myself to get any contracts if I'm not making offers. So hypothetically speaking, if you called Cake the dude, imagine you meant called the dude a month ago and you never followed up. If he was semi interested, how would you approach making contact again? Call him and say, "Hey, we spoke a month ago. You still interested in selling that property?" Don't think too much about it, man. What my old coach would say is, "You're thinking for the seller." Don't think for the seller. Think for yourself and your process. That question, I'm reading between the lines, and I'm hearing that you are fearful of them saying, "Hey, I thought we talked a month ago. Why are you just getting back to me now?" Nobody's gonna say that. To be honest, they probably forgot all about you, and you could very rarely you'll hear me on all my follow-up calls. I'll reintroduce myself because they don't remember who I am. They're getting calls all day, every day, and very rarely, I would say like one out of every 20 people that I follow up with, um, because one, they're not getting crazy calls all day, but two, we built good enough rapport where maybe they save my number in their phone, but it's probably a combination of both those. Those are the only people who I say, "Hey, this is Derek," and they say, "Hey, Derek, how you been?" But other than that, it's, "Oh, right, right," and they'll act like they remember you. They don't know who you are, so don't think that, "Oh, it's been too late." I have a bunch of follow-ups that have run past due. Just call them and reconnect. Hey, it's been a while since we talked. We spoke, probably last month in regards to your property over on, Main Street. Just wanted to reconnect, see if you still had any interest in receiving an offer on your place there. Yes, no, already sold it. Only so many responses. Um, and then take it from there. I'm really like moving away from the script at this point because I'm going for the lower hanging fruit. Um, if that makes sense, like I really don't feel like I'm doing it at scale enough, having enough conversations to really go procedural about it. Like, this is what I'm gonna say on every single phone call. I have, for the most part, a general framework, but maybe that's something that I can do better at is, revisiting my script because it's been a while since I've been making consistent offers to the point where I'm just freestyling it now, and I don't think that's right. I think I need to get back to the script. Um, Even when I'm following up, like revisit the pre-qualifying pillars. Revisit the condition, revisit the motivation, revisit the timeline. Even if they've already told me that stuff, that's kind of what I was shying away from on these two phone calls with those two gentlemen today because I just spoke with them yesterday. But again, I highly doubt that they even remember those phone calls. They get calls all day. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off right now. I appreciate you, you both, Sophisticated One and Caxi. I think that's how you say your name, Caxi, Caxi. I apologize if I'm saying it incorrectly, but I appreciate both you guys for jumping in here, showing the support. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys Monday on the next one. Hoping to get my new list of driving for dollars. I've just got a little over 500 driving for dollars properties on my list. So I'm hoping to get those skip traced and put into my texting platform and my dialer by Monday so I can have some fresh data to market to. And I'm feeling really good about that. So uh, tomorrow, or sorry, next week, in my opinion, will be very eventful. That's how I'm going to approach it. I've been catching a little momentum, making a couple more offers, getting some conversations going. So I'm really feeling good about next week, especially if I can get this data skip traced and thrown into my system. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Okay, thanks. I like that advice. Absolutely Sophisticated One. If you have any more questions, feel free to check out the links in the description. Both ways get a hold of me is my Instagram and the Discord group. Both of those links are down there. The Discord group is going to be the best way to get a hold of me. I've actually gone back and forth with Caxi or Kixi a little bit on Discord. So if you are looking to connect with me, that's going to be the best way. I have my notifications turned on my phone, so I will see when you say something in Discord. Um, Another couple links down there are the batch affiliate links. If you are interested in signing up for batch leads, that's what I use to comp my properties and to kind of house my lists. And I use batch skip tracing as well to get my data. So if you are interested in using those, entering into the batch ecosystem of platforms, feel free to, and you want to support me or the channel here, feel free to check out those links. Both of those links are free to sign up. You're obviously going to have to pay for the skip tracing and whatever. Uh, so I guess the batch leads isn't free, whatever like tier you sign up for in terms of batch leads. And just know that I am going to get some type of an affiliate commission there if you do choose to support the channel. So Do me a favor, check those out if you like. I'm going to cut my mind off. It's my biggest enemy, it seems. Yeah, yeah. Don't think about it. Take action. No thinking, just doing. Who said that? Yoda said that, right? There is no try. There is only do. Right? He said that. I think so. I'll leave you guys with that one. You can go ahead and fact check me on that. I'll see you guys on Monday. Till then, peace.